Hi guys, welcome to the Grapplers Academy, and you're here for another technique breakdown. So today we're looking at the rear naked choke, and we've picked out the Kron Gracie versus Caceres match.
We're going to have a look at a couple of the tips and tricks that you can put into the place in the gym to take it from a low percentage finish for you to one of your higher percentage finishes and get you working off on it every time.
And also we might throw in a few little dirty tricks that you can use against training partners or maybe keep for competition. With sort of the rear naked, me personally, I find it's one of the more difficult chokes to land from the back, especially to get like a full technical sort of rear naked choke. I tend to opt more for the short choke if I'm on the back. Don't know why. I think it's just part of my routine and habits now that I've developed from grappling, but I could always fully appreciate a well executed rear naked choke. But yeah, like this one that we've lined up.
It's kind of like that beauty or glory choke, isn't it? Where you see it get sunken in, and you know there's been like 10 steps getting to that point for it to come off so nicely. I think probably, like you're saying, and probably one of my main reasons as well is in terms of getting it off as a higher percentage finish. Like kind of everybody almost learns how to defend that pretty early doors, don't they? So everyone kind of knows what needs to happen for them to get choked, so they almost immediately go to defending it. Like it's very rare to come across somebody who doesn't know how to defend a rear naked choke, especially after like even a couple of months worth of training. Yeah. So actually to get it in and sneak it off properly, it's pretty hard, isn't it? Like there's a couple of tricks to doing it, and some are nastier than others, and some are more fun than others, which I'm sure we'll get into as well. But yeah, it's definitely one of those ones that everyone just learns to defend soon. So it's just hard to get off because you've had so much practice at defending it.
And also it's arguably one of the most visible submissions. So like visibility in the sense of social media in the sport. And as a kid, when you sneak up on a mate, what do? You put your arm on the back of the neck, don't you? Like,
yeah. It's that one that you see like drunk guys in the bar saying, "Oh, put a rear naked choke on me," and then they're like slouching over in the bar afterwards, and then somebody throws a pint of water on the crotch and
doing the old Jean LaBelle style.
Exactly, yeah. Or the Chuck Liddell, you getting sued because you just consensually choked somebody, and now you've got video evidence of it.
What was the one with the was it Alistair Overeem did one as well where the guy just dropped to the floor?
I've seen loads of them. I've seen John Jones, Chuck Liddell, and they were basically. I think the UFC got to a point where they were saying, "Do not do this."
Yeah,
because basically you're going to get sued.
It's like I get why the fighters are doing it because they're sort of like, yeah, you're a journalist, bit of publicity, it'll be a viral moment, but then at the same time, you're going unconscious, like,
yeah,
and you're not in a fight.
No. Yeah. I think the nice thing about this one that we're going to have a look at today, though, it's like the prodigal son of the most legendary UFC mixed martial arts and jiu-jitsu fighter of all time, Kron Gracie, slapping a really sweet rear naked choke on. And yeah. It's kind of almost textbook, isn't it? There's a couple of things that they're in there, but it's definitely one of the cleaner rear naked chokes that you'll see, especially in an MMA match, because a lot of the times you'll see it as a face bar or a crush on the jaw, but this one's just crisp. It's right under the chin, and it's a real tight blood choke.
No, definitely, and like you've got to take a hat off to Caceres. Like he's defending it correctly, but like you say, Kron, he's bred for grappling. Like I'm not a big fan of his MMA. Like he couldn't take down a poster, but his jiu-jitsu is world class. Even going off his 2013 run at ADCC.
Yeah, was that the one where he was armbarring Gary Tonin?
Yeah. That's the one that I'm not sure on the year, but that's the one that I'm thinking of. Like he's mixed it up with the best of the best, and he's now in UFC. And like we said, this is a very, very well executed rear naked choke, and as you'll see when we sort of break it down, there's a lot of details and little things that he does that help it. That's different than you might not necessarily have seen in your own gym.
Yeah, and there's a definite difference from you guys out there that are watching from just a jiu-jitsu point of view in terms of what you're going to be able to do to set it up from an MMA point of view. Like, you're not going to be able to punch, or very unlikely that you're going to get away with the referee or even any of your friends in the gym letting you punch them in the head to set up a rear naked choke, Nate Diaz style. That being said, there's a couple of things that you can do, and Kron does do here, that are really nice, that you can do perfectly fine without like disrespecting or injuring your partner. So yeah, I really like this sub. I remember seeing it and I was like, yeah, great defense and great awareness of what's going on, but also like a really nice finish.
No, definitely. And as we can see, when we do line it up, it comes from a back take and a takedown from the cage. Like I say, it's not like the most clinical takedowns, but he ends up on Alex Caceres' back and he just hunts for the choke almost immediately. So we can sort of see from here, like almost immediately he falls to what's classed as the wrong side. But you can see what he's doing. He's controlling the underhook. He's controlling the chin. We will go back over this and break it down. But just of an overview, it's a really well executed rear naked choke.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing that people might not be looking at initially on that, that's making that defensive position a lot tighter as well, is that body triangle that he's got locked off. If you've not been in a body triangle, it's uncomfortable, especially if someone can get the legs properly locked off around there. But the position, essentially, after he started on the back, starts with where everybody in the gym would be familiar with it, starting with a seatbelt position, so an over-under. But yeah, as you said, traditionally, it's fallen to the wrong side there, because the arm that's pinned to the floor now isn't an arm that can be used to choke, is it? So that is typically why, if you were trying to defend this and you were looking to try and pin that one to the floor with your body, then you've got both arms that are free to fight that top arm that's not pinned. So that probably is like the textbook thing that gets taught and is the right defense from Caceres there, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. Like say, he's pushed over to the wrong side, or the non-choking side, and he's defending the arms, he's defending his neck, and as you can see, he's tucking his chin as well. Like, he knows his priority here is to defend the neck, but Kron here is just a step ahead with the defense. And there's a little detail that we're noticing here as soon as he starts trying to fight it, and this is something that I've started doing, and I can't really pin the source of where I started doing it from, but I do think I might have seen it from here and subconsciously adopted it into my game. It's the grabbing the chin to control Caceres' posture, pull him up a little bit, separate the chin from the body, but it also frees up Kron's underhook arm to come out and start attacking the neck when the neck's available. So
do you think that possibly could have come from when you've been playing around with the python or the face mask covering? It's a similar sort of mechanic, isn't it? Because you'll pinch over the nose, and then you've got a bit of leverage to lift on the face as well.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a lot nicer than the other alternative that I use as a competition only technique, where get the blade of the old forearm and get underneath the nose bone. Like, that's...
Oh, no, this is what we were saying about, there's some ways to do it where you can make friends in the gym, and some ways where you ain't going to make any friends in the gym. As you like to put it, competition techniques only.
Yeah, like, as I say, I think every player should have, like, a bag of comp-only techniques that they know will work, but also they've got a downgraded version which they can adapt and use similar mechanics for in the gym to refine the finishes.
So now, just before we carry on with that, an interesting side note on the position on the legs. If you've got a body triangle locked off on somebody, try not to leave your down leg in between your opponent's legs, because you could end up getting, you're basically going to footlock yourself if your opponent's able to wrap your leg on the inside up and then bridge the hips forwards. It's going to put a lot of pressure on that triangled leg behind the back of the knee. So, I mean, obviously there's a lot going on here with the choke, that he's not necessarily worrying about what's going on with the legs. but it's just something to be aware of. The meat and potatoes of this is what's going on with the choke up there, but definitely something to be aware of for anybody looking to incorporate that body triangle into the techniques.
Yeah, I've been. It's not often that I can get a body triangle, but on one of the rare occasions that I had it, I fell victim to this, and fortunately, I managed to sort of get my leg free before the footlock was fully on, but I was panicking at first.
I can almost imagine, because it seems like a recurring theme over the past couple of weeks when we discussed this, is you can't get into a body triangle. So I'm going to guess that you put it on and you were like, yes, I've got a body triangle. I'm like, oh shit, I'm getting tapped.
Exactly. And it was one of them ones, like, my legs don't have the length and dexterity to sort of go shin behind the knee. So it was kind of like foot behind the knee. So when they drove the hips in, I was like, oh my gosh. And yeah, I persevered it, but there was a bit of soreness afterwards.
So yeah, like we were saying before, really nice use of the chin lift there to get that arm free and basically get your opponent to fight off the main attacking thing, which is the hand, and get them to stop thinking about the arm that they've got pinned, so you can free it up and start thinking about diving the forearm and the bicep and underneath the chin.
Oh, definitely. As you can see here, Kron's managed to get that arm free now, and he's snuck it straight across the neck, and I think he's over the chin at the moment. But I don't know if you know, like, I noticed this on my second time watching this, was the way that he gets his arm tighter. Like, he's not trying to walk it across, he's taking hold of his wrist and literally pulling it across, which I really like.
Yeah, I kind of use this sometimes when I'm going back and forth on a short choke, that sort of grip there or here. It's just a nice little lever, isn't it? And yeah, he's already shoulder deep on it, but you can see there the chin's still in a little bit. That's not going to be a comfortable position, but maybe not quite a choke just yet.
Because like you see, Caceres is doing the right thing. Like, Kron's trying to get the hand behind his head to push it forward as he's squeezing the bicep. And Caceres is doing a great job of peeling the hands and keeping them away. But I think one detail that's, like, it's kind of seen as the invisible jiu-jitsu. Like, it's not as obvious unless you're in Caceres' position, or even on the, like, just on the receiving end of a choke, is there's not one moment here where Gracie isn't applying pressure to the chin and the throat. That's going to be a constant threat. So as well as trying to peel this away, he's trying to keep his neck safe while Kron's actively seeking out this choke and trying to apply more pressure to it. So there's a lot more going on than just peel the hands away, you can get it away. Like, this is going to be applying pressure to the throat already, and the anxiety and just the thought of losing is going to be playing like loads and loads of games in Caceres' mind.
And the other thing to think about as well is this guy's been doing this choke and choking people for 25 years. It's like tying his shoelaces for him. There's no thought behind it. It's pure muscle memory, and he's got an answer for every problem that you're going to throw at him in terms of defending this.
No, definitely. And what we can see here, the difference and the way that Kron starts to battle this whole hand fight at the moment is you'll see him, he starts trying to sneak his chin over his wrist when he gets the hand behind the head. So he starts to progress forward, and you'll see he lifts his own head up and he sneaks the hand underneath his own chin. And then when he's ready, he secures it with his own chin to hide the hand, hide the forearm. So Caceres is going to make it a lot more difficult for him to pull off the back of the head. And then again, securing that choke. And then now, once he's got that chin secured, it's almost just like adding the latch to the gate. It's just going to secure it, make it tighter. And no matter how much he tries now, it's going to be 10 times more difficult to escape from this choke.
Yeah, definitely. That little addition of sticking the chin on top of the hand And especially with the MMA gloves on as well, it's just creating a blocker in a wedge that's going to be really difficult to defend from. You've got to, it's just one more thing that you've got to clear. I always think about it like padlocks. How, can you put padlocks on the gate quicker than your opponent can take them off? And, he's got 3 padlocks in place there that Caceres is going to have to go up and down the chain of to clear. And, you can see we get the tap there, and it's just a really tight choke.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good to watch. It's like the king of jiu-jitsu techniques, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, it's very technical. He's like just very systematic with it as well. Like, it's almost like he's drilled this thousands and thousands of times at the gym, performed it thousands of times at the gym, and he's got an answer for every counter that Caceres has got there for him. And I think this kind of goes into the discussion that we've been having recently about strategy. Is he's probably utilised this choke at the gym, so he knows an answer to every single counter, and he's using that as part of his training method, as well as obviously getting rounds in and going live with everything. But it's having those answers and having the system for when you're rolling and for when you're doing techniques that makes this kind of choke second nature.
Yeah, definitely. And, Kron Gracie's been doing it on the scene, ADCC, everything. Matt Morris, he's literally done everything that you can do in jiu-jitsu, hasn't he? Really interesting one for me to coming over to and starting an MMA career. Had a good career over in Japan in Rising. Put a lot of guys away from subs. He's doing it now in the UFC. He's going to come up against some good guys that are going to kind of restrict the ability for him to get his jiu-jitsu off. But you're right, like with this being one of those staple chunks of jiu-jitsu that everybody knows, I can't even imagine how many times over the years that he's practiced or done this choke. He's probably had more successful submissions, legitimate submissions to this choke than most people have practiced it.
Yeah.
And like everything else, it's that muscle memory and repetition, isn't it? The more you're doing something, the finer tuning you can put on it, the more people you're doing it against, you can come up and work your way around all the different problems that are presented to you. And it goes, like you say, to that discussion on strategy that we've been having about how you can implement and work your game plan with loads of different guys in the gym, and how it's a good idea to get a good mix of training partners.
No, definitely. Like, you can see where he's troubleshot this in the gym as well. Like, because I know I've not come across somebody showing me how to like tighten this choke up with pulling the arm across. So he's probably had that issue in the gym, and he's gone back to the drawing board, found the solution to the problem, gone out, tried it, come back again, reassessed it, gone back, tried it again. And he's just got it down to the point where he knows what's going to work more often than not now. And possibly similar with the thing with hiding the arm under the chin. Like, that was probably an issue that he'd had with people ripping the arms from behind the rear naked choke. So he's had to find a solution for that again. And it's a case of not throwing out your arsenal, but keeping it in there and finding ways to get around the problems that are being presented to you. Thanks for watching another episode of the Grapplers Academy. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to hit the like button and also hit that subscribe button.
And if there's anybody out there that you think could benefit from anything that we talked about today, don't forget to share the video and pass that information on.